Hi, everybody. I am Jim Graham on Beyond the Cage, presented by Intimidation Clothing. Right now, we have a special guest on the line. He will be fighting at XFC 27 against Drew Morris. He is David Rocksteady Rohn. David, thanks for coming on Beyond the Cage.
Hey, thanks for having me out, Jim.
And David, you are relatively new to the sport of mixed martial arts. You have fought 4 times, and I was wondering what got you into the sport of mixed martial arts?
Well, after high school playing football and stuff, just decided to get back in shape and went to my first gym in Muskegon where we're fighting at, and just kind of elevated from there. It was about 4 years ago. I was 18-1 as an amateur, and I'm 2-2 as a pro right now, obviously. So, kind of ventured into boxing a little bit now here lately. But other than that, man, just trying to stay healthy and stay in shape and stay young.
And in the 4 years you've been training mixed martial arts, is there any one specific martial art that you've kind of like taken a liking to?
Yeah, I mean, recently, like I said, I've ventured into boxing. I've always watched it as a kid growing up. I played football a lot, and it kind of conflicted with the wrestling season and stuff. And I was also really, played a lot of baseball, so I didn't really wrestle too much throughout high school. But I got into wrestling pretty hard since I started, mixed martial arts. So I'd say I like, the wrestling aspect of it, and in the boxing format. But I kind of, I'm starting to learn to love jiu-jitsu and stuff because obviously it's such a huge part of our sport. So. I like everything. I like to be well-rounded.
And how long has it been since you turned pro in MMA? Because you mentioned your pretty impressive amateur record there.
Oh, let's see. I believe it's coming. I've been a pro now for, I believe, a year.
I got to see one of your fights online at TWC, and one of the fights you won, and I believe it was against Thomas Grisham, and I was wondering, what did you think of your performance that night in that victory?
That was my second fight, and I was coming off of I fumbled my pro debut, hung on to an arm lock a little too long, and ended up taking my back. That was a mistake on my part. So in that fight, I was really just was pretty cautious. The kid he's actually fought and beat, Drew, who I'm fighting. He's had some pretty Tom, the guy that night he's had some pretty, good victories under his belt. I knew he was really strong in wrestling and stuff. If he was able to get a hold of you, he could stay on top of you, get you to the ground and stay on top of you. So I just really tried to keep my range, and I just fought a really, kind of a smart fight as far as I'm concerned, because I was looking for my win. I didn't want to go 0-2, coming out of the gates as a pro. So I just fought real conservative, man. As now looking back at it, I see a lot of opportunities where I could have finished the fight. I hurt him really bad in the first round, and hurt him really bad in the beginning of the second round, and just kind of drew it out, just looking for that win. So I'm happy with it. It was a W, obviously, but looking back now that I've had a few more fights and everything like that, there were some holes in my where I should have finished the fight, I should say.
Speaking of the TWC, I've met those guys, and they're really cool guys up there running the fights out of Lansing, and I was wondering what was it like fighting for them.
Oh, I love TWC. They just recently had a show. I believe it was a week ago. I was kind of scheduled to fight on that, but then had the opportunity to get on this card, and obviously this is a little bit bigger of a show, and it kind of gets my name out there more, and I was looking really forward to having an opportunity to fight for XFC. So I took this fight instead. But I was their 155 champion. I love Pete, Adam. They were great guys. It's a really good show coming up in Michigan, man. They're helping out a lot of the pro guys by putting it on. They're one of a few pro shows in Michigan, so I have nothing but respect for those guys. I like to continue to fight for them, in the future too.
And like you said, you mentioned the XFC, a little bigger show. And what does it mean to you to be fighting for an organization like the XFC?
Oh man, it's awesome. I've had the opportunity to fight for a few shows so far. You know, being this early in my career, and you know, traveling with the boxing and stuff. I just, you know, I've watched XFC growing up throughout my amateur career. You know, and it's always kind of going. You know, I'm kind of feel like I'm climbing the ladder. You know, I would hope to be able to continue to fight for him after this. You know, improve myself to some of the bigger names, you know, after, you know, this, you know, so it's just, it's an awesome opportunity. I hope, you know, that we both benefit from it, so I'm looking forward to December 13th.
Jim Graham here, talking with David Rocksteady Rohn, XFC lightweight fighter, who will be taking on Drew Morris at XFC 27 on December 13th up in Muskegon, Michigan. And David, one thing I noticed in watching your fight online that you are a southpaw, and I was wondering how has being a southpaw helped you out in your career? I'm actually, you know, I'm right-handed. I fight southpaw because I feel I'm a little quicker. I feel like I can get to my sprawl faster. I feel like I can get deeper with my shot. I believe it's helped me out because it throws some people off. I'm comfortable fighting another southpaw, and I'm comfortable fighting, you know, an orthodox fighter. So some people, it's hard to train. They don't have a lot of southpaws to train with. So I feel like it's helped me, you know, with the element as far as footwork and angles and stuff. Some people aren't used to it, so I believe it's helped me out. So would you be safe switching to like an orthodox stance if for some reason you had to, or if it wasn't going your way, you'd be kind of like a switch hitter, so to speak?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
Now, I know it's still a few days until your fight on the 13th, but I was just wondering what your weight is looking at right now.
I'm a heavier lightweight. Right now, I'm probably about, I'd say, I haven't really, you know, obviously I'm not cutting my water or anything. I'm still doing my diet, but I believe I'm about 72 right now, give or take. I kind of get into the high 60s with my workouts, and I'm still, you know, working my weight down to where the point where I start cutting my water. So I like to be, like to try and be the bigger the guy. I've been doing lightweight now for a while, so I pretty much got it, you know, my weight cut down to a science, as best as I can do, you know, with how I feel. Drew, he's a little bit smaller of a guy. I think I'm going to be the bigger person walking back in the cage.
And leading up to this fight so far, has there been anything specific that you've been working on in your training camp?
I just like to stay sharp with everything, man. You know, it's a fight. Every fight starts standing up, so obviously I've been working that, but 95% of the fights usually hit the ground too, so I've been working that hard. I'm just going to be ready for everything.
And looking at your opponent on December 13th, Drew Morris, what can you tell us about him?
Oh, he's a tough kid, man. Grew up in Michigan like I did. Fought for Genesis a lot. I've seen him fight a few times at some shows. He's got crisp boxing. You know, I think it's going to be a fight for the fans. I have a feeling that we're going to have one of the better fights of the night, I believe. He's a really good wrestler also, so I think that it's going to come down to, who wants it more, and we're both going to shake hands afterwards and stuff. I have nothing but respect for the guy, so I think it's just going to be, like I said, a fight for the fans. It's going to be a barn burner, man.
With your ties to Western Michigan, and obviously you already mentioned that you originally started training MMA in Muskegon, is it safe to say you'll have a lot of folks cheering you on the 13th?
Oh, absolutely. I was born probably about 5 blocks away from where we'll be fighting an event. Born and raised in Muskegon, man, so yeah, I'm definitely going to have a big support system coming. I mean, he's coming in my backyard. I'm undefeated out of Muskegon. I believe I've had, about 10 fights, give or take, in this area, so just going to keep that momentum going, man, and come into the fight and use that energy, All
right, I'll get you out of here with this, David, and I got to ask, anytime I get a fellow Michigander on the show, and I got to ask if you are a Spartan or a Wolverine.
Well, this is going to surprise you, but I grew up as a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. But if I have to go second favorite team, I am a Wolverine over a Spartan fan. I am a Wolverine.
Okay. All right. I gotta get a feel for how other Michiganders are. I did not go to school there, but I'm a Michigan State fan myself. Okay. All right. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yes. I have a hardcore Michigan support system, but like I said, just through my mother, I grew up as an Irish fan.
All right, he is David Rocksteady Rohn. He is fighting on XFC 27 against Drew Morris. That will be in Muskegon, Michigan on Access TV on December the 13th. And you can also follow him on Twitter at Rocksteady Rohn. David, thanks for coming on Beyond the Cage. Really appreciate it.
Oh, man, thank you, Jim. And anytime you need me, man, give me a shout. It was awesome talking to you guys. I look forward to seeing you on the 13th.
Once again, that was David Rocksteady Rohn right here on Beyond the Cage, presented by Intimidation Clothing.